This is us a few feet away from the house, from the garage. Look at that. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. For today's video, we're going to be installing these Diode Dynamics Elite Series fog lamps on the 2013 Corolla. I wanted to get something different and potentially more powerful than these ones right here. I got some, just here, let me turn it on real quick. So I got just some super bright white lights on this thing and I wanted to switch it up. So these should be plug and play. It comes with some harnesses. I got the yellow, which is equivalent to 3000K. The white one, or the cool white one, is at 6000K. But again, I wanted that yellow light for some contrast. It has that line right there within the projector itself so that you can get a solid line on the ground as well when the lights are illuminated. So like I said, super excited to get this installed. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the install. Hopefully we can get it done fairly quickly here. On their website, these Elite series are plug and play for the 2009 through 2016 Corollas. So if you have any years that are outside of the 09s and the 16s, then you're gonna get a different kit. So just keep that in mind. In the box, obviously it comes with these two fog lamps and then the wiring harness, which should be plug and play unless you want to do the amber backlight lighting, which I don't want to do. So this is a complete plug and play unit, or this will be a plug and play unit, but it should be the H11 backlight tap wire kit. So there should be two of them in here. And then it comes with these wire tappers as well if you choose to do the amber backlight lighting. Should be pretty straightforward. You got the harness right here. This should be plugging into here, like that. And then if you choose to do the optional backlight, then this is what you'll use to tap in to the wire, 12 volt or signal, I don't remember exactly, but again, we're not doing that. So what you'll want to use is this one right here, which should plug in to the factory fog light plug. So we could take this off and then probably seal this up, since we won't be using this wire for the wire tap. So for the purposes of my install, the fog lamp setup is going to look like this. You got one side of the harness plugged into the fog lamp itself, and then the other one, which will go on to the factory bulb, or the factory plug for the bulb. And then this one right here will probably just seal or tape over it, or, you know, zip tie it right here so that it doesn't flop everywhere once we install it. So first step is to go ahead and turn the wheel, whichever side you're going to work on, turn it the opposite way. So right now we're at the passenger side, the wheel is turned to the left. All right, so our goal is to make as much room as possible in this area right here, as well as the bottom, because we are gonna be getting our hands in there to remove the fog light. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're gonna do is remove this plastic push clip right here, and we can do that by simply getting our flathead, turning it one side, and then prying out. I think we might have to turn it a couple more times just until you get that out of the slot. All right, so once you get this plastic piece off, I'm gonna go ahead and get your tool, pry gently so we can break that free. All right, and now I'm gonna go ahead and remove a couple 10mm bolts from the bottom so that we can pull down the plastic cover. All right, so filming this might be a challenge, so I'll bring you guys here with me. And again, I just have my 10mm socket. I'm gonna take this one off. If you have this year of the Corolla, yours might be a little different from mine, because I ended up putting a cheap front cover right there on the bumper. Since, believe it or not, these cars didn't come with the cover up front, which I thought was weird, so I bought one. So yours might be a little different. Just keep that in mind. Next bolt we're gonna remove is this one. There should only be two of them. Okay. And I actually had to add another one, so You're not gonna have this, so don't worry about this part. These are super brittle. Jeez. All right, so there we go. So the whole liner is freed up. There's 2 screws behind the fog light housing. There's one right here and then one directly on the other side. So go ahead and get your screwdriver and remove this right here carefully so you don't strip it. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and just unplug the fog light itself so it's free from the harness right here. And actually, if you take the time to pry this back a little bit, you will get access to that other screw, which is directly right there. So remove that, and the one on the other side and the fog light housing should come off. All right, so we got the factory housing off and got the fog lights right here. These are actually really, really good bulbs, but these are obviously way better. So you guys can't tell, but I put a clear film over it just so it doesn't get scratched up. That's why it's a little blurry right now, but it should clear up as the solution in there dries. But yeah, so this is the stock one. And when you're putting this in, you want to make sure that you follow the correct orientation. On these Diode Dynamics fog lights, you'll know that they're the correct orientation by the lettering up top. So obviously if it's upside down, then you're gonna want to flip it over, or you may have the wrong side. But they're gonna be installed like this, facing out. So, and you can also tell with the stock housing on the bottom right here, it's marked bottom. So when you put that on the bottom, and when the lettering is up, they are the same orientation. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, so again, with the wiring, you don't have to do this, but I choose to anyway. I'm gonna wash my hands. All right, so back to what I was saying, since we're not gonna be using this part of the harness for the amber lighting, we can go ahead and unplug this. So set that aside, we won't be using it. Now we're left with just this. So take our fog light. Oh, and by the way, if we're unhappy with the placement of the line, then we can simply adjust it by turning this screw. But for now, for the purposes of the video, I'm gonna leave it as is, just so we can get this thing installed. Take your harness, plug it into the slot until it clicks. There we go. And this part is completely optional. Matter of fact, I don't even know if it helps with anything, but I wanna go ahead and put some tape around this so that water doesn't get on it. And again, I don't know if this matters, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. All right, looks kind of ugly, but it should work. Next up is I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie these 2 together so that it doesn't fly around in the bumper. Now it's ready to go back in the car. Let's go under here. Again, make note of the orientation, lettering facing up. Basically what we're gonna do is find the slot for the bracket, which is right here. If you guys can see right there, that bottom part goes into this section right here, and then it should line up flush with the other side. And I'm gonna show you guys this. There we go. There it is. All right, so after that, you go ahead and get your screws. Again, there's 2 of them. Gently screw this thing back on. And then make sure, if you plug it in and then it doesn't turn on, that means it's upside down. So you just wanna flip it over and see if that turns on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing mounted onto the bumper. Okay, let me show you guys how I have it. So it's all plugged in, tucked away, that wire. Yeah, we should be good to go. If we need to adjust, there's a screw on the bottom, which is actually very conveniently located right there. If we need to adjust the angle of the light. All right, so we got the fog light mounted. Turn on the fog light, and there we go. Wow, yeah, these things are super bright. And that's that line that they were talking about is right there. You can see it. Has a detailed, or it has a defined line, so it looks like we're gonna have to adjust that side. It looks slightly higher than the other. All right, you guys, so that about wraps up the install. Just remember to put the 10mm screws back in place, as well as this clip right here on the side. We didn't have to go through here, so this thing stayed in place, but this one had to come off. Super easy though, and there's a lot of room to play with once you get this thing pulled down. And as you guys just saw, I was able to remove and reinstall the Diode Dynamics fog lights without having to remove the front bumper, which is always a plus. Makes it super easy. To make it easier on yourself, if you'd like, you can always lift the front end of the car, remove the wheel. But again, for this video, we simply just pried back the liner and we were able to gain access to the fog light. Like I said, I'm gonna get some shots when it gets dark outside. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is us a few feet away from the house, from the garage. Look at that. Super dark spot here, for example. Let's see how wide it gets. See if it... Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Look at that. It goes all the way. Let's go for a little drive. Okay. Oh, my God. Does it show on camera? That is freaking bright. You guys can... Let me see. Yeah, if you guys can tell, it illuminates all the way to the left and then all the way to the right, which is just crazy. And I roll down the windows here. Let me see the camera again. So I roll down the windows and you guys can see that it spills all the way over to the left, which is just amazing. And then that line they were talking about is pretty vivid. It's like a projector, but there's a cutoff line, which is amazing. So again, this is just a point of view driving part of the video, just so you guys can get a feel of how bright these lights are. Yeah, and again, they're super easy to adjust if you need to. But this is just perfect. All right, just a couple more shots. Might adjust them to be higher, but they are looking pretty good. Yeah, it's hard to tell from here, but it illuminates literally anything, even all the way over there, which is crazy. Up there. Super nice. Look at it against my jeans. I have only the headlights on. I'm gonna wait till these cars pass by before showing you guys again the fog lights. So there's no street lights here, so it's perfect. All right, here we go. Bam, look at that. It really lights up the sides. Pretty cool. You guys can see it goes all the way forward, all the way to the left and right, so it's lighting up the entire road. But yeah, that should be good.